Welcome back to the EB Scout Project. I'm Krager. This is Alpha Bravo, and today we're gonna wreck and rule like we did last summer. Ask your grandparents about that reference. Anyway, this is the first box of the Amazon Wreck and Rule collection. Special collection of boxes where the faces all create a diorama of a statue to Emirate Zeron. They also come with pieces to the Wrecker Hammer, which this one comes with a hammer head. So that's pretty neat. We'll put two of these together at the end of the show. But anyway, box is typical fare. You have pictures on the side, product pictures on the back of Impactor and Spindle. We'll get to them in a little bit. Some Decepticons on that side. It's all well and good for the box. The box contents, we get a new Impactor and Spindle, a new character based on the Paleotrex mold. Alright, let's focus on Impactor. First, we'll focus on Impactor here. And much like Siege and the exclusive Amazon Siege before, it's basically the same mold with some subtle changes. The colors are a different palette. They did make his cannon a two-piece cannon, but the hand spear and the gun are the same. And a remolded chest here, but otherwise the mold is the same. We'll go ahead and bring in the Siege. And you kind of see how the colors are more gold and a deeper purple, versus actually, I guess, more of a lilac, and this is a purple, whatever. But you can see there's essentially not a lot of changes in the mold itself besides what I already said. So, all right, let's compare them to our current IDW winner, the MMC. I need to bring the camera up a little bit. And we see there's a lot of difference there. And you can see that this is definitely more the IDW look. So that's why he's the winner. So IDW run is out. So we'll just focus on the Marvel Comics of it all. And this definitely is more the Marvel Comics aesthetic. And we'll go ahead and flash a little bit of what he looked like in Marvel. And you see, yeah, that's where they got the aesthetic, which I'm not opposed to. This is going to be more of the Marvel Comics wrecking crew like we saw, in the comics. All right, let's look at vehicle mode. And here we have the Wreck and Rule Collection Impactor in his tank mode, and it looks pretty cool. Of course, it's just like the Siege, just like the previous Amazon exclusive, but, different colors. All right, bring in the Siege. You can see that, pretty much the same. We can take a bigger look at the upper gun here, and you can see quite a bit of difference. Where this was one piece all molded together, this is, like I said before, two pieces, and they did change the base. They didn't just chop this off and add this in. They actually made a whole new mold for this cannon. So that's one thing. And then, of course, the chest portion there. But overall, pretty much the same. All right, let's go ahead and wrap him up. So is this our new Impactor? Now, as far as IDW, like I said earlier, he's not going to be any competition for IDW. So we'll focus on G1, and in this case, G1 is the Marvel Comics look. Now, the Siege was the original winner because it was the only one that had the open face and non-Spartan helmet. But now with this new one that's based off the Marvel Comics, it's definitely the new G1 Impactor. So, the Amazon Wreck and Rule Collection Impactor is our new Impactor. Alright, let's go on to Spindle. Alright, next up is the Fossilizer Spindle. Of course, this is a slightly remold, redeco of Paleotrex. You see, they definitely changed the way the dinosaur head works. But otherwise, a lot of the parts are the same. They did change the chest attachment there, the chest shield, and the head sculpt. Of course, all the head is different. That still pops off like Paleotrex did. And we'll take a look at that face sculpt. And yeah, he looks kind of buck-toothy. That was That was a design decision. Guess they wanted beaver tracks, I guess. Anyway, let's go ahead and bring in Paleo Trex. You see the changes in the head, changes in the chest. They decided that the official position of this part was swap sides, so instead of this kind of axe handle look, he's got that spiny thing, but that goes to his dinosaur mode, so that it works. But otherwise, the molds are the same. I think they did do different dinosaur hands. Let's move those so you can see them. Where this one is a kind of a 3-fingered splayed out in that direction, you've got a 2-finger turn it in a different direction. So yeah, they did make new dinosaur hands. But let's go ahead and take him out. But otherwise, pretty much what you got with Paleo Trex. One problem I have seen a lot of people have complained about is that these joints right there like to come apart a lot. They don't stay in securely. But you can, dip this part in boiling water for like 3 seconds, pull it out, and stick that back in. Just hold it tight, and then once it resets, it should be tight again. You can do the same with a hair dryer or whichever. Either one method, you can get it to remold where it holds a little bit better. Mine, I had the problem on both sides. I just haven't fixed it yet. Alright, let's look at Dino mode. And here we have Spindle in his Dino mode. And it's definitely a different dino than what we've seen before. This kind of Spinosaurus type of thing. And you kind of got to invert his tail from what Paleo Trex did, so his tail doesn't go up, his tail just goes down. And of course he has a functional head and, jaws. Pretty neat. Like I said, just, other than that, the different fingers, the different chest piece underneath. But otherwise, he's the same as Paleo Trex. I do like the way that they stowed the head, how the head kind of tilts back in there. So that instead of just kind of sticking in the back of the dinosaur skull. But, yeah, overall I like the effect. And of course we bring in the Paleo Trex. You can see the T-Rex versus the Spinosaurus here. And overall, the effect is pretty good. And of course you're adding to your dino collection. And then we're going to get a Mastodon with Leadfoot later. And so you can have a nice plethora of skeleton dinosaurs. Alright, let's go ahead and get to final thoughts on Spindle. So, is this our new Spindle? Well, since we didn't have an old Spindle, so yeah, he is. He does have the wrecker mark down there. So he is a wrecker, just no media to back him up, but he is our new wrecker, according to the Amazon Wreck and Rule collection. So, here's our one and only fossilizer Spindle. Alright, let's go on to our last one. Finally today, we're going to take a look at the Diaclone Twin Twist. This comes with the top of the Emerald Zeron statue there. And you see, really nice looking box. Got Whirl up there, so that's pretty neat. Same Decepticons on that side. Product pictures on that side. Same Autobots on that side. And this one comes with the shaft of the hammer. Oh, like I said, at the end we'll put those together. So, let's take a look at what's in the box. In the box we get the Diaclone Twin Twist. This, of course, is Twin Twist as he originally was in the Diaclone collection with the red and blue. I kind of like this coloration a lot better. The original release, of course, was the G1 coloration, where it's just a little blue in the middle and white everywhere else, where this is blue with a little bit of red in the middle and some grays, so helps set off a lot more dynamic coloration. So coloration wise, I really like it. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. They did put the Wrecker symbol instead of the Autobot symbol, but otherwise it's just a redeco. And everything else is the same. There is some mold degradation problems, which seems kind of funny to me since I don't think they really widely released the original Twin Twist that much. I think it was like third wave, and you couldn't really find them in stores, so I'm surprised the mold is degraded. But anyway, let's take him out and we'll bring in our IDW winner, which is the Mech Ideas Gemini. And of course, much like Impactor, he's not going to win IDW because this is the IDW look. They just took the right out of the pages, made him, so he's going to be the last stand of the Wreckers Twin Twist. So IDW's out of question, so we'll just focus on G1. Since there's not a lot to talk about for G1, since these things are exactly the same except for recolor, well, let's just look at the vehicle mode. And here we have Diaclone Twin Twist in his driller vehicle mode. And like I said, it looks just like the Titan's Return because it's just a recolor of the Titan's Return. But, you know, I like the colors of it. I do. I like the red and the blue of it and the yellow highlights. And overall, it looks neat. Let's go ahead and set Alpha Bravo to the side. We'll bring in the Titan's Return so you can see the difference. You can see there's just the color. Mold is all the same. Now, I was talking earlier about mold degradation. I had to really force the hips in vehicle mode to stay where they're at. I'm kind of leery about, transforming them again after this, but it works fine when the torso is twisted around. For robot mode, it clicks right in, but in vehicle mode, I have a hard time getting that to snap in. Otherwise, there's some looseness in some of the joints, but otherwise, it's okay. And like I said, it just kind of surprised me with what I perceive as a pretty low-run robot that it's already seeing mold degradation. All right, we'll look at the Titan Masters here. You see, like I said, it's the same mold, just recolored. I actually kind of wish they'd done like a red visor on him. I think that'd look pretty neat. But it's the same mold, same face, just they gave him Diaclone colors versus the original G1. So, of course, neither appeared in any media, but still. Okay, let's go ahead and get to final thoughts on him. So, is this our new G1 Twin Twist? And like I said earlier, this one is our G1 because that's the way he looked in the Marvel Comics. Any other media appearance, he was in these colors. If you've got your Diaclone shelf of the newer Diaclone recolorations, this will go in your Diaclone shelf. But far as your G1 Wreckers, your Marvel Comics Wreckers, you're going to want to use the original Titan's Return. So, Titan's Return is still the G1 favorite, but the new Diaclone one can go on your new Diaclone shelf. Alright, let's wrap this up. Alright, before we go, let's go ahead and assemble the pieces of the hammer that we've got. Now, they did make it really easy, because you see the C's, the B's, the A's over here, and so they made it really easy to figure out how this thing goes together. And you see this has A tabs and D tabs. So, once you get all the pieces, you really don't need the instructions. So we kind of fold that out to where it's squarish. Do the same to this. Seems like I got my finger in there without destroying the... There we go. Just kind of fluff it a little so it stays a square. Stick the pieces in there. It does have some little barbs on it to help it stay in. I'm going to go ahead and fold these over just a little bit just to give me some extra insurance. So, that's the hammer so far. Alright, let's go ahead and get to our outro. So, thanks for joining us today on the AB Scout project. If there's a character you'd like to see, put your request in the comments below. Even though there aren't too many left, please like, share, subscribe, ring that bell, and leave comments. And I'll see y'all later.